Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. How's everybody doing this evening? Can I get anything on the chat? Anybody there? Anybody there? Anyway, well, I'll start out talking about the weather. We're getting our spring rains. That means we're going to get plenty of nice spring grass. So, anyway, 5x5. Cool. I got people listening. Here, let me get on here real quick once. You do my phone thing. So, anyway. Yep. Couple things we need to talk about today. One of them is. Let me get out of here. One of them is. I'll wait for a few more people to get in here. Carol Prince is here. Hello, how are you doing tonight? I got a good show for us tonight. It's pretty easy to have a good show when the world gives us nothing but lunacy every day. So, anyway, the number one thing I want to talk about tonight is organization. We see the other side is so organized over the silliest things. And I think it's time for us Patriots to organize. And the one thing we need is a place to do it. Lone Wolf Prepper will be one channel that we can organize. You know, kind of like Ton Tavern, where the Marine Corps started out. You know, we need a place where we all share our same ideas. You know, I'm not afraid to talk about it. This world's a messed up place. You know, us Patriots need to start the next step. But we all know what the problems are. We see them every single day. But that's all most channels talk about, is what the problems are every day and no way to settle it. Well, Lone Wolf Prepper channel is now a place for us to come and organize, leave messages, meet people. You know, next time we have a live stream, bring a friend. One of those groups where you bring a friend to get it to grow. We need to grow the spirit which built this country. You know, we're already suffering worse than what King George put the colonists through. And the plans they have for us are far worse than he could ever dreamed about. So, next time come, bring a friend. Spread the word. Talk. You know, that's the main thing. We got to communicate what the problem is. What the problem is, and what I mean is the federal government. And then we need to start brainstorming and coming up with solutions to solve this problem. Now, of course, my solution is 1776 all the way, buddy. That'll solve for sure. But anyway, like I say, Lone Wolf Prepper Station is now a place to organize for people to come, express their opinions about what needs to be done to fix this. It's a place for all of us to gather. So, spread the word. All right, we had a little twist in the election today, huh? Robert Kennedy Jr. is throwing his hat in the ring as an independent. What does this mean? Well, I think the Democrats and the Republicans are both in trouble. That's what I thought Barack Obama would be brought in as the peace candidate, as a candidate that the day after the election, the whole country isn't going to blow up. especially with two decisive candidates such as Trump and Biden. And then Robert Kennedy, I thought he had dropped out. As a Democrat, he did, but as an independent, he's going to run. Because if he wins, we ain't going to have total chaos in the streets on November 6th, I believe. And the Democrats, sorry to say, want chaos in the streets just as much as the top Republicans want chaos in the streets the day after the election. Robert Kennedy will throw a monkey wrench into that. I'm not a supporter of him. Okay? It's just another politician. Either Democrats interpret the Constitution one way, the Republicans interpret the Constitution another way, and the American people interpret it the way it's supposed to be interpreted. And he's been in there for a while. You know, this ain't the Kennedy clan of John F. Kennedy, where it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. I mean, he sounded more conservative than our conservatives do these days. By the way, he's definitely going to split the vote. He's going to take a lot of the independents, the people that don't want the country to completely explode on November 6th will be the ones that vote for him. I mean, when it comes to our rights, he stands like every other politician. Okay, they're not in there to protect our rights. Not at all. I'm not a very social person. Either am I, Carol. That's why I'm out here. That's why I'm a lone wolf. You know, society's done nothing but sit there and break my heart, insult me, and everything else. And I really don't need them no more. But back to the election. Yeah, Robert Kennedy's going to split the vote, just like Ross Perot did back in 92. I just don't know which way. Because who's more upset with their candidate, I guess? I would say that's almost got to be Joe Biden. But you never know. But, you know, it's definitely a different presidential race now. I do believe now we will have an election. So, you know, whether they're going to be able to control him or not, I don't know. He's just another politician. Doesn't stand with the Second Amendment. You know, Second Amendment. ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Okay. We all know what agency I'm talking about. I know it's kind of a side note, but this is something that just crossed my mind lately. Alcohol. That's not in the Constitution, so I guess that can be regulated by the federal government. Tobacco. Same thing. Firearms. Constitutional right. So we got a three-letter organization that's in control of our Second Amendment rights. Really? Who's in charge of the first one? Who's in charge of the fourth one? You know, the ones we don't have anymore. You know, get into the Fourth Amendment, all these roadside stops in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. Illegal search and seizure. It don't matter. These guys are out of control. But, you know, Kennedy gets in. Is that going to change? No. Is the border going to get closed? No. Okay, you say, oh, we closed it a little bit. We're only letting 15,000 in a day now instead of 20,000. Is the debt going to go down? No. Is the school system going to get better? No. Is the total mental state of this country going to get better? No. None of that's going to happen. Still going to be the same mess we have now. You know, you believe an election can fix it? Okay. Keep thinking that. Not going to happen. And then some of the crazy stuff that's going on now that the voters definitely aren't going to want to see after the election if it intensifies. These college protests. New York police went into Columbia University last night and cleared it out. My thing is they should have just locked them in there for a while until they decided, oh, this ain't the right thing to do. But they're going to get out with no consequences. It's hard to find 300 plus arrested. It's just hard to find the information out on it. So it's just going to get swept under the rug. Now these other college campuses, they'll start doing the same thing. Protesting pro-Palestinian shutting down our colleges. And we're allowing it. I think they ought to all go back to their own country. You want to sit there and support Hamas and fight Israel? Do it on the streets of Gaza. Don't just sit there and upset our society. That's why your society is upset, because there's too many people acting like you. Not getting nothing done, just complaining and expecting handouts. Look at Gaza, Palestinians, a group of people that basically survive on the rest of the world for their survival. Nobody in that country can sit there and get their act together and start getting the people's act together. Nope. It's up to the rest of the world to save them. And then what they did to Israel on October 6th, if I was Israel, I'd have been in there October 7th taking them out. But, I think that might have been planned too. Our country will be invaded, and then our country has already been invaded. Yeah, we've already been invaded. You know what it's going to take for China and Russia to get troops over here, the logistics of it? It's not easy. And then to supply them and all that stuff. Our oceans have saved us, and they're doing it again. Now they can drop missiles on us and stuff and totally devastate our land. But the invasion's at the southern border and the northern border going on right now. Okay, it's not even in the news anymore. Got these protests in these colleges, okay? Really? Want the colleges cracked down. Like I say, in that building, if a bunch of patriots, I don't know, would have took over, I don't know, let's say some federal land out in Oregon, and decided to make a stand and try to get the message out, like Lavoy Finnegan, and they get shot down in the snow in cold blood, murdered by the FBI. That's what us patriots would get, like the January 6th treatment. But these people, I guess, if they feel bad enough, they're just allowed to do whatever they want because you microaggression them. I really, really wish they'd come out here and try that stuff. We need a little entertainment out here. It gets kind of boring sometimes. Especially, I got to watch this stuff on YouTube and stuff, on social media. And I'm out here and I'm basically not affected by none of this stuff. They can't come out here and do anything. People aren't going to hire illegals out here. It doesn't happen. Very conservative American place to be. So, but, I don't think there's going to be a Red Dawn scenario. If that were to happen, they'd have to come from Canada or Mexico. And we know way about it, way before. You can't sit there and stockpile 300,000 to 400,000 troops on a border with all their equipment and us not know about it. So I just don't see it. Like you say, being hit with missiles, oh yeah. But I also believe that a foreign government foreign country shouldn't have to come into our country and take care of the problem we have, which is our federal government. Because if another country comes in and do it, yeah, we ain't gonna have to worry about our federal government. We're just gonna have to worry about that country and being occupied, which is gonna be far worse than what we're dealing with now. And I really believe that the world is just waiting for us as Americans to do something. The proud history of America is just going down the drain because, we feel we can't do nothing, I guess. Or if you try to do something, you get shot down in the street. Which brings me to my next one. This Charlotte shooting, is there's not a lot of information being given out about it. I guess guy's a felon, tremendous rap sheet, whatever. But they expect me to believe that he shot from his upstairs window and killed those officers and wounded those other officers. And then after doing all that, he came out in his front yard to get shot down and wide open. And then they had to sit there and bring the SWAT team's armored vehicle in to get into the home. We're getting up to the magic bullet theory, okay? Everybody realize we're not hearing the truth about that story? He may have been a felon, but I'm starting to think he may have been a felon that might have been an informant, might have been on the payroll. Something screwy about that story and the silence of it. Has anybody heard a story about gun control yet because of that story? I sure haven't. Kind of amazing, huh? Anyway, just another part where we're being lied to every day. So, anyway, like I say, there's a lot more of the story, and I think he was being paid by them because they're you're shooting from the upstairs window, and you're winning. And you go out to your front lawn and say, hey, yeah, it just doesn't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense. In the armored car SWAT team. What the story from the first day to actually almost a shutout of the news, a silencing of the story. Anyway, I wonder if anybody else has any ideas what might have went down in Charlotte. Because I definitely am not believing the official story. At all. So, and then the border. Where can you stop with the border? See, that's just the invasion that's going on. And if you want to stop it, you got some type of phobia. Americanophobia, I guess. Why are you allowed to come in this country? Just walk to the border. And that's not even talk. That's them. What about the ones that don't even have to make it to the border? The hundreds of thousands that the government has flown out of these countries and brought straight to the United States. Now, I'm assuming those people are probably a little bit more connected and, probably vetted a little bit better. But, isn't that criminal? If the president is literally flying illegals into this country using our taxpayers' dollars to do it, he could be charged with so much. But, I guess if a crime's not investigated and the person's not charged, the crime never happened, right? Kind of like Epstein's little black book. How can you charge somebody with a crime for supplying minors if he didn't supply them to anybody? Just thought. Anyway, so our borders is what's the main thing that's going to bring this country down right now. We have to secure it. I mean, if our government's not going to do it, and I don't care who's gets in office, oh, beauty in the background. Yeah, green card as soon as step off the plane. I mean, look at what we have to do as American citizens just to get a driver's license. Even if you already have one and you go to another state, you still need your birth certificate. That's a biggie. And the birth certificates that we got when we were born, the ones with your footprints on, the ones that look way more official than the ones they got now, those ain't good no more. Well, I still got mine. My mom kept them. And, we've gotten stuff that she's cleaned out of her boxes through the years. And that's one of the things I got, among other things. But no birth certificate. We have to have proof of where we live. I mean, all these hoops we have to jump through. But the state I came from, when I went to renew my license, and I had that sheet I had to fill out, the bottom check mark on it was, or the bottom box was, I certify I do not have a social security number. So that's a box I had to check to get a driver's license or a state ID card. So they needed no documentation because they checked that box. No lie. Of course, that's also the state that's put litter boxes in classrooms for their furries. Mental illness on the loose. So, anyway, if you live in a big city, you got to deal with this, and then the squatters. You go to work one day, you come home, and your house has been taken over by 10 illegals, and there's nothing you can do about it. You get to live in the street. Great country we live in. Anyway, now the debt. $1 trillion every 100 days. So that means we're going in debt. What is that? $10 billion a day. Now, that would be like me going in, I don't know, debt about, $100,000 a day? Boy, my life would be a living hell. But when you're Congress and you're just taking our money, their life ain't going to be a living hell. Our lives are going to be a living hell. And our children's lives are going to be a living hell. And our unborn children's lives are going to be a living hell. And they're probably going to become slaves to China that's going to own everything. That's one of the futures we got to look forward to. We could always do 1776. Like I say, Lone Wolf Prepper is a channel, a platform for people to come to and organize, to get to know one another. Find out we're all in the same boat. Talk about the same common enemy, the U.S. federal government. Anyway, is there anything somebody would like to talk about? Not too many people tonight. I know this channel's just starting out. YouTube's really giving me the screws. They're so afraid of the truth. If I was giving out fake news, then what would there be afraid of? I'm just a person who's looking at life every day through reality glasses. And all I see is bad things are coming. And I don't believe the bullcrap, the lies. And the stuff where they keep trying the scare tactics. The newest, what do we got? Swine or the bird flu. Now they're testing beef meat for it and stuff. Our beef meat's already contaminated. I mean, when you're given, yeah, I know they don't want you putting the truth out there. Scares them. But that's something I had to listen to my whole life. When I sit there and try to blow smoke up somebody's ass when I was younger, I got told, I don't think so. That's the way we were raised. Our parents knew that's what made good adults, is having to face the truth. Nowadays, I mean, look at these college campuses. I mean, the one thing about college, really, you don't even have to take the SAT or ACT to get into college anymore. Why? Was the test too hard for them? All these teachers are cheating their students. I gave my teachers a hard time all through school, and I got a good education because they cared about me and they cared about my future. None of my classmates went to college and did this type of stuff. I was in military school, so I got my education that way and stuff. Believe me, nobody there was doing that type of stuff. But these college kids completely lost it. I mean, they're not even from this country, a lot of them. And then the agitators in there trying to get a bunch of warped minds all worked up to do stupid things. Take over a building. Oh, and then I forgot what they renamed the building or whatever. There's some 6-year-old Palestinian girl that got killed by Israeli troops. Well, why didn't they make the adjoining building name it after some Israeli 6-year-old girl that got killed by Hamas? Oh, it's all about being fair, right? Being fair. Being fair in this world means that the hardworking conservative gets screwed over because nobody cares about how we feel. And frankly, we're not passionate enough about the way we feel. When we get passionate about what needs to happen in this country, they're going to start shaking in their boots. And that's why I want people to come here to Lone Wolf Prepper. I'll put myself out there. I don't care anymore because I can't live in this no more. I refuse to live another 40 years in what they call this United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. But if we can get 20% of our population to believe in freedom and be brave about it, then our government and our problems will start ending. But that's what it takes. Sorry about the glare on my glasses here. Let me see if I can do something about that. No, not yet. All right. I'll get that fixed for next time. I don't know what the problem is. But yeah, that's a little better. We need to do something. I mean, if you have kids and your grandkids and they're being lied to what freedom is. They're not being taught our history. I mean, Google had that AI they had to cancel that was kicking out all the founding fathers as black and Clarence Thomas is white. They're programming their biases into the computer. What was the saying back when computers first came out? Garbage in and garbage out. That's what we're getting. And the thing is, these days, everybody believes what that computer screens tells them. Nobody's independent or thinking for themselves. No problem solving. Yep, the curriculum in the school system sucks. My kids went through school back in the 2000s, and when did the last one graduate? A few years ago. But anyway, oh yeah, I had plenty of arguments with superintendents. The kids even went to school where I went to school once in the little town, and that had changed so much. All the teachers I had quit during Clinton's years, except one, but he was a liberal. But all my teachers from elementary, we went to the same building, K through 12. But all my teachers from elementary all through high school, and most of them, in fact, I'd say all of them, were teachers before the Department of Education. They all quit in the 90s because they lost control of teaching kids. They were told by the government how to teach it instead of, it being regulated by the school board and the parents who send their kids to that school. Yeah, I know that gender identity. What do you do? Sickness of this world. So, remember, if you stand up to it, there's something wrong with you. If we stood up for our beliefs as strongly as they stood up for their beliefs, we're going to get shot down in the streets. Which we have been already. Criminals, David Koresh, go back to them. Really? We got to save the kids, so we kill them all, bringing tanks in and stuff. All I do is starve them out. Also, who from the government went to prison for 56 counts of murder? Let's see, which one of them were they? Was it Bill Clinton? No. Or Janet Reno? No. They all got out of it. Amazing. So, I'm sure, one thing about this channel being small, I can get away with shooting off my mouth, which I'm not going to stop. But I would assume that when it gets bigger, I'm going to have issues. That's why I want to start off my Lone Wolf Wild Kingdom show. But they won't even promote that. That's all about control. I mean, that was the first thing, when you're born. Born free, right? Born equal, right? No, born controlled. Never. It's never going to happen. They say, I'll die standing. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to be controlled by an inferior male to begin with, an inferior human being. And an evil human being. I got God on my right-hand shoulder. Bring it on. Let's see where this gets us. I'm not afraid of my immortality. So, anyway, we got a long road ahead of us. So you prepping. Prep to be totally dependent on yourself. No outside entity is going to help you at all. Your neighbors are all going to change. If you belong to a mag, the only stress you can't put on a mag, besides getting shot at and stuff, is the stress that a mag's going to feel after SHTF. It's not going to be getting together and having potlucks and shooting at targets and, checking out your prep and supply and telling what your kids did in school that day. People are going to find out what the military's like. Protecting your perimeter. Staying awake for days at a time. Yep, self-sufficiency. That's why the Indians had to go, because they knew what true freedom was. And it was interfering with European colonialism, I guess you could say, because we still had that. But, they knew what freedom was. They didn't even like gold, okay? People that didn't care about money. Oh, I know how that feels, because I don't. I live a very simple and humble life, and that's why I'm going to stay. Why I'm on YouTube is because after Oliver Anthony, I couldn't keep it in no more. I had to do my part of getting the word out. And when the fight comes, I'll do my part too. But self-sufficiency. They don't want nobody like that. They want you completely dependent on the system. Oh, I got to go to the doctor. I mean, hearing ads advertising hospitals, never had that when I was growing up. Come in because your big toe hurts. Come in to see if you're sick. Yeah, go in now to see if you're sick. How much money are they making on that? Crazy time. I don't go to the doctor. I don't have to. I'm lucky. You know, I'm middle-aged, and I take care of myself. I'm healthy, and low blood pressure. Just I'm a healthy person. I don't have aches and pains. Still work hard. Maybe tire out a little easier now, but that's just after I'm done. When I got a hard day ahead of me, I'm as motivated as can be and get through that day, and then suffer afterwards. You know, the way I was taught to endure. Yep. Yep. Live off the land. And the thing is, like, too, go to these antique stores. If you can pick up some of the stuff, I mean, I don't know, a bed warmer. I mean, just plan for no electricity. Because even if you got a generator and you got 10 million gallons of gas, electricity is very hard on components and stuff. What are you going to do when you got to replace parts? I mean, I guess every prepper's goal should be at least to go back to the horse and buggy days. Okay. You know, is technology going to be around after this? You know, we'll have the smarts for it. Are we going to have the drive to bring it back? You know, after Rome fell, and people for hundreds of years would look at the architects and stuff that they built and wondered what kind of people built that, because all that knowledge was lost. They realized during the Dark Ages was a time when civilization went backwards, where knowledge went backwards, you know, and people resorted to being stupid. It almost sounds the way we're living now. And Rome hasn't fell yet. But when it does, and everybody that's connected to that dollar bill, enjoy the ride, buddy. Because I'm a prepper. I don't care. You know, today, the day we get this stuff started is the day we start getting it fixed. And whether they bring the system down itself, it comes crashing down. I mean, we've become a third world country, you know, when the BRICS nations take off and stuff, and we can't go around the globe pushing every country around. You know, I used to travel the world as a Marine. You know, we used to push a lot of countries and do what we want to do. But we could have that authority no more. Then it's all going to come back on us. And then, you know, when we're a third world country, and what's a third world country? What don't they have? Oh, yeah, Health and Human Services Division, welfare. They don't have it. I mean, what are they going to sit there and do? Give you $1 million a month so you can sit there and buy your food? And then, if that happens, and we haven't gone to the digital currency and they totally stole all our rights and completely took over our lives, that day where they can't fill those EBT cards, that's going to be a bad day for those county offices and stuff. You know, I'm glad they're behind bulletproof glass and locked doors, but they still got to leave the building. I mean, we saw how crazy these people act against us while they're getting their hands filled. and their stomachs filled and all their needs are met. Okay, they know we're not doing that. But when those needs aren't met no more, okay, if they would have closed that building down, completely closed that building down, no electricity, no water, jam their cell phone signals, just to show them how stupid they are. Okay, they would have been saying that the government was victimizing them. They're going to take it out who they're angry at that time. When their EBT card don't work no more, they know not to come after me because I'm giving my money to the government to fill it. The government's not filling it. And yep, little bit by little bit. $20 a week, Carol? Little bit by little bit. You know. But it's crunch time. People that you can have all the supplies in the world. You can have the best gear in the world. You know, you can have all your rifles and stuff. But if you don't have it up here to deal with the stress, being tired, not knowing what's out in front of you. I mean, when Americans actually have to fear for their lives every day by just the basic function of trying to get food. How many Americans do you think can handle that stress? Not many. And see, that's the mindset they're in. The status quo is never going to change. And all these preppers that say they get burnt out. Burnt out from what? If you're burnt out, learn a new skill. There's always a skill you can learn. Even maybe one that don't pertain to prepping. But, you know, burnt out from wanting to survive. That makes no sense. It's like, I guess, in the Marine Corps, we trained for the first 6 months. Now we don't have to train no more because all our training's done and we're sick of it. You know, we weren't doing our thing, we were training. There was always something new to learn. So that's why I still am. I haven't even come to the limit of my knowledge. Yep, mentally and spiritually. Oh, I'm spiritually. You know, my bond with my father is very strong. You know, I got a purpose in life, and that's what I'm feeling now. So, you know, they're never going to come in between that. This puny little time I spend on this planet ain't nothing compared to the eternity I'm going to get to spend. The happiness, you know. Will I feel joy when I see the people that have tried to destroy the world getting punished and sent to hell? I don't know. I don't know if that happens up there. But I know God will. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So that's why I don't get vengeful anymore. He takes care of it for me. So anyway, but a lot of bad stuff is coming. They just, you know, I can't wait to see what the next thing is, the big divider or the big control item, the next big Simon Says thing, because they have to come up with something. There's a lot of, the new bird flu. I just don't think they're going to go that route again, because if they were, they'd be pushing the shot, and that's kind of gone off to the, the clot shot. That's kind of gone off by the wayside. What a game of Simon Says. I wonder how many people feel absolutely ridiculous for doing that. But maybe they created a few Patriots from it when they realized that they were completely getting played. Yeah, as we all will get judged. But see, these people don't believe in God or believe in a higher spirit. So they don't have to believe in morality. I mean, our country has become a murderous, organized crime, you name it. All over money. We've been warned. Eisenhower tried to warn us, but that was so early, people didn't quite understand. The military industrial complex taken over. Over $800 billion we spend on the military. More than China, Russia, Great Britain, France. I mean, the list is like 8 countries, 9 countries, maybe even 10. The top ones, we spend more than that. How is that possible? Why does a bomb cost so much more in the United States than it does in China and Russia? I mean, do ours explode just a little bit better or something? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of money being funneled other places, like in the politicians' pockets and stuff, among other things. $700 for a hammer. Yeah. Not a problem. $1,000 for a toilet seat cover for a B-1 bomber. Yeah. Nobody's getting rich off that. Oh, God gives us signs every day. Of course they don't want to listen. I mean, they want to take one nation under God out of our Pledge of Allegiance. That's just something that interferes with, oh, you mean I got consequences if I live this way? I don't know how you can live such an empty life to feel that when you die, that was it. So live life to the fullest. Pleasures of the flesh as far as you can go. All I know is if you don't believe in God, and the day you die, you're in front of those pearly gates, that time it's too late. It's too late. Okay? He wants you to come to him with your own free will. He gave us all free will. And we all pay our consequences for our free will. Okay? That's why I don't believe that anybody should be brought to him, drugged to him on their knees, or force religion on them. You have a casual conversation and they're interested in stuff, that's one thing. To tie somebody down, put a Bible in front of them, say, here, you will believe this way. That's not what he wants. He wants willing soldiers, not recruits that are required to be there. So that's what the left wants. That's why we all have to believe like them. Because if we all believe like them, then they're right. I mean, which one of us as conservatives really want somebody else to be like us, or think that it's a good idea to force our lifestyle on somebody else? The last thing I want is a world full of lone wolf preppers. And everybody who knows me would say the same thing. Not that I'm a bad guy, but I just, I'm my own individual. So, but I'm not going to believe like they do. I'm sorry, the way I was brought up and the morals I have, I look in the mirror and I like myself. I don't have a problem with the decisions I make every day and stuff. I'm not off making other people's lives miserable and infringing on their rights. I even drive the speed limit. Guess I'm not in a hurry to get to my accident 5 seconds later than I have to. But they just want us to think like them. How can you think like them? If I would have acted that way growing up, I would have been punished. In fact, I probably did sometimes, and I got punished. That's why I don't act that way. We used to get spankings. I mean, these kids that took over that dean's office, what kind of productive adults are they going to be? I mean, they get into a job and their boss won't give them a $100,000 raise a year. What are they going to do? Take over the building? Oh, I wish they would have locked the doors, put razor wire around the building, said, "Oh, good, now you're all prisoners." Taught them a lesson. I would bet that now other buildings on these campuses will be taken over. So maybe they'll lock them in there this time. But, well, Carol, it's been nice talking to you tonight. Like I say, they're trying to smash my channel down so bad. So bad. I mean, my view chart looks like a EKG. Oh, he's got a heartbeat. Boom! Shut me down. I mean, how do you go from getting 600 views an hour to nothing? I mean, just like an EKG, there's a heartbeat. Boom! I never thought I'd live in a country where my words would be harmful to, people would be afraid of them, especially billionaires who think they got the world at their fingertips. Oh, Carol, I want to ask you, what do you think of my little wall ornament back there? Here, let me see. That is my retirement plan one day. Yep, everybody's got to have a dream. And after SHTF, I have lots of land to pick from to have me a place just like that. Yep. I'm not going to have a problem. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the time. I know it's sad, and a lot of people are going to suffer and die. But what do you do when we got Sodom and Gomorrah? It's not going to get no better. In order for it to get better, a lot of hard decisions are going to have to be made. And the thing about it, the people on the other side ain't going to give up any more than we are. So that leaves only one thing: a beatdown until somebody says uncle. Okay? Because, right now, we're supporting all these wars around the country, right? All over the world, right? Who's going to sit there and give our federal government money to fight us? Okay. Nobody. I know if we can get together, band together, get organized, become Minutemen and minute women. Like I say, this is on our soil. It's everybody's fight now. So come here, talk. Carol, next time try to get a friend to come with. This will be a small group that starts doubling in size every time we have a live chat. I need help. I've tried everything with YouTube, everything. And every single time I put those shorts on, right? And people watch the shorts and then they'll go through my videos and they'll start watching something that's controversial to them, and then they just shut my feed down. It's crazy. I mean, complete control. I don't know why they just don't cancel my channel. Anyway, whatever. Maybe the government's listening and wants to know what I'm doing. Okay. I don't care. Come out of your FBI, because I won't be taken in. I'm going to treat you just like I would have treated a terrorist. Okay. You're no different. All you three-letter agencies, IRS, ATF, FBI, CIA, all you are is terrorizing the American people. Just like they did in Nazi Germany with a bunch of government bureaucracies. So, anyway, yeah, ATF. an agency that regulates my Second Amendment? I don't think so. You know, and also, you talk about our country being invaded by a foreign country. If that happened, if the invasion now don't work, be just like Ukraine. All of a sudden, they'd be passing out M16s to anybody whose trigger finger worked. Remember that? So much for gun control. We understand what the Second Amendment's for now. Crazy time. You know, when they needed to protect their ass, they'll take it from us. When they needed to protect their ass, they'll give it to us. You know what? It's given to me by God. They don't have the right to give it to me or take it from me. Remember, the Constitution is to handcuff the government, to ensure the government has specific charges it has to do, and defend our borders is one. Ensure the safety of our money supply is another one. Woo, are they way off? You know, and to secure, be guards of our God-given rights and our freedoms and liberty and our pursuit of happiness. How many ways did I just say they failed? They haven't succeeded in a single one I'm talking about. So come here and organize. Lone Wolf Prepper. Bring a friend next time. Slowly we'll grow. You know, I don't expect, and I'll call it the resistance. The resistance to this tyranny in the institution of our Constitution again. And it's a, you know, original form with the amendments that we have. All the amendments, not just the first 10. All men are created equal now. The only reason you're a victim is because you choose to be. Because you choose to use one of your characteristic or traits to say you're a victim. That's not the American spirit. That's not what made America great. Okay. But I know you all can have that victim mentality. I'm not going to. Just, you know, I hope I get to live out my later years in peace. You know, I just, 40 years of this stuff, 50 years. So much and crazy it's going to be in 5 years. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins the election. This country's problems are not going to be solved because our country is rotten to the core. Our government, federal government, is rotten to the core. And they're using our money to do it, which makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, I'm coming up on an hour here. Let's see. Today is Wednesday. I am going to go live again Friday at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Friday night, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Like I say, bring a friend. This little group now, we're all sitting around in a secret room behind the business talking about being slaves to our federal government. You know, and we're going to discuss how we can fix it. But we need to organize. So, come to Lone Wolf Prepper. That's where we can start. All opinions are welcome. Because all opinions were welcomed when we were forming this great nation. So anyway, spread the word. Hope to see you again Friday night, 8 o'clock, Carol. See if you can bring a friend. You know, I thought a few more people were going to show up tonight, but they didn't. So, but anyway, slowly but surely. especially when I got a massive wall of social media just sitting there doing anything to stop me. It's crazy. All I know is when this all comes to a head and this problem is solved and the CEOs of the social media platforms are brought to trial, there's going to be plenty of us creators that have plenty of evidence for a class action lawsuit. Like I say, I'm not in here to make money. I'm here to spread the word. If the channel grows, the advertisers can pay for the growth of this channel. But I don't expect my subscribers to give me no money. I won't accept super chats. There'll be no way to give me money. Okay, I don't need it. I need you guys to prepare, organize, start talking to your neighbors. Explain to them what the problem is. And, we can't live too many more years like this. The longer we take to solve this problem, the harder the problem's going to be to solve. And the more destruction that's going to be caused because of it. So anyway, if you're out there, come to the Lone Wolf Prepper so we can talk about this. Start getting together like they were organized back in the 1770s to the point where they were finally able to take on the British at Lexington Concord. We're not there yet, but they're not at their goal either. So we'll see who gets to reach their goal first. Come to Lone Wolf Prepper. Let's talk about it. Let's get a jump start on this. Anyway, everybody have a good night. It's Lone Wolf Prepper. Out.